costly perfume made of pure nard, anointed Jesus' feet, and wiped them with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. But Judas Iscariot, one of the disciples, the one who was about to betray him, said, "Why was this perfume not sold for 300 denarii and the money given to the poor?" He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief. He kept the common purse and used to steal what was put into it. Jesus said to her, "Leave her alone. She bought it so she might keep it for the day of my burial. You always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me." I have a jar of nard, spike nard, and I'm going to pass it around. It has a little roll on it, just so you can smell it, maybe put a little on your wrist, and get a sense of the room where Jesus was at this time. What's the scent? Nard, spike nard is the plant. And it was used in burials to anoint the bodies. So let's look at the story from John of Jesus at Bethany. Let's look at the characters in the story. We have Lazarus reclining with Jesus, as was the custom during this time. A man Jesus has recently raised from the dead. He is indebted to Jesus, probably fiercely loyal, I would think, and fully in love with him, the way one is in love with one's Savior. There are many like Lazarus who have felt saved from death by our Christ or God, saved to live another day. And then we have Lazarus' sister Martha, busily overseeing the preparation of food and serving as the hostess. She has often been criticized for not sitting with Mary at Jesus' feet. She was busy with the responsibility of feeding all her guests. She was too distracted to focus on Jesus. And we have one of our main characters of the story, Lazarus' sister, Mary, who is in the more sensual relationship with Jesus, rubbing his feet with the perfumed nard and using her own hair to wipe off the excess. The smell of the perfume permeates the room, at once reminding everyone of Lazarus' recent escape from death. Perhaps the nard was left over from the preparation of his body. And the smell which also is a harbinger to the days to come, foreboding the death of Jesus. As you pass around the nard, imagine the room, the scent of the perfume rising to join the smells coming from the kitchen. Imagine the nard on your hair, the scent following you wherever you go. Mary's hair will have smelled for probably weeks of the nard. The scent which designates abundance, love, devotion, forgiveness, and ritualized burial. The only other character in the room mentioned by name is Judas Iscariot, who controls the purse strings and who is known to pilfer from them. Judas, who will betray Jesus for money. Judas's mind is on what is going on in the world outside the room. It is turbulent times, violent times, and his mind is occupied with politics of the times, much as ours are. We are thinking about the government, the law loss of funds, the protests, the marginalization, the chaotic imbalance of power and alliance. People are protesting. People are being crucified. Judas is perhaps thinking of all this. He is focusing on the use of money, his political engagement, and this presages his role in the coming days. In this intimate setting, Jesus' mind has turned to his coming death. When Judas chastises Mary for using the expensive nard, a year's wages which could be sold, and the money used for the poor, Jesus comes to her defense. This is a moment to be lived in with friends. Jesus chastises him. Leave her alone. She bought it so that she might keep it for the day of my burial. A somber comment. He continues, you will always have the poor with you, but you do not always have me. I have heard Christians quote this in order to justify not giving to the poor. Don't know if you've ever had someone do that. I don't think that was Jesus' intent. He was saying, this is a time to focus on the ones around us. It is a time to separate from the outer world and to indulge in the present moment. And we have other disciples in the room who are not mentioned, who are regarding the situation. We can imagine them listening to the unfolding dialogue, maybe engaging in their own side conversations. So ask yourself, who are you in the room? The unrecorded observer? The political, money-driven one looking to increase funds, perhaps secure a buck for yourself? The sensual one, needing to experience the Lord fully? The busy one, perhaps too busy to sit and listen? I think I'm a little Martha myself. Or are you the saved one? Saved from death? Risen from a spiritual death? Or even a near-death experience? Or in Lazarus' case, real death? Indebted to your Lord for your second chance at life? Indebted and grateful because you still live, or you live again? Or are you one of the followers who are unrecorded, present but not speaking, present but not drawing attention to yourself through your actions, listening, thinking, learning how to live, wondering about these times we live in and what the future will bring? Whoever you are, we are in the room together. We have gathered, and Jesus reminds us not only of his mortality, but of our own. There is a time for the poor, yes, and time for doing, yes. But right now, be with me and be with each other. Take time to experience joy in companionship. I was beckoned to read the words of King Solomon in Ecclesiastes 3 again. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get up, to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, a passed away, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak.